EGS has some awesome free games, and Call of Duty Warzone has hit 30 million players. All that and more, my name is Ethos, and this is Free to Play Weekly. And this episode of Free to Play Weekly is sponsored by Warspear Online. Warspear Online invites you to meet the spring on a new island where the ancient school of magic opens its doors. Explore solo dungeons, school mysteries, world and guild events, and incredible secrets. Start with thousands of players in your hectic summer. Join the school and protect it from witchcraft curses. Fight against Mamba and Serpentis raid bosses and have fun with dynamic events only in Warspear Online. Take a part in a new interesting event in Warspear Online, and to make it easy for you, we've even included a link that will get you right into the action down below in the video description. Just click and get started. And now, moving on into the news, another week and 3 more new games are available on Epic Games Store. One game you're probably all familiar with, and if co-op shooters involving zombies is your thing, you probably want to grab it. Mad Dog Games' World War Z is up on the block, saving you $35 on the base game. The DLC is still going to cost you though, and it ranges from $5 to $10 depending on what you want. On the complete other end of the gaming spectrum, we also have 2 indie games. The first is Bedtime Digital Games' musical action-adventure game, Figment. This is one of those trippy games that takes place in a different reel, in this case the human subconscious. Here, players will explore a completely hand-drawn world and fight nightmares. Normally Figment would run $20, but it's still a pretty solid deal. And finally, there's Raw Fury's fast-paced action game, Tormentor x Punisher. This normally $8 game is unique in that everything in the game can be killed with a single hit. The problem is that when they say everything, they also mean, well, you. So your job is to take down hordes of demons that adjust to your playstyle. Yeah, you actually heard me correctly. They actually adjust to your playstyle without ever getting hit. Good luck. First Watch Games' upcoming third-person shooter Rogue Company is still shelved to arrive on all platforms sometime this summer, and as work on the game continues, the developer has finally decided on releasing an all brand new gameplay trailer showing off some of the characters and their abilities. You'll also get a pretty decent look at the game's maps, which kind of give off a sort of Just Cause vibe. When this game does launch, First Watch intends for cross-platform play to be available, giving players the opportunity to play with their friends right from the beginning. At the moment, the game is still in alpha testing, and those who want to participate can apply via the Rogue Company website. Despite being 8 years old, Counter-Strike Global Offensive is more popular than ever. Going free to play has certainly helped with this, as has everyone's tendencies to stay home during the COVID-19 crisis. But even without taking that into account, CSGO has been rising steadily since for the past year, even as some new competition comes to light. Superdata is reporting that Valve's shooter has 24 million unique players in the month of February, its highest total ever. Superdata attributes this uptick to an update to the game in late November 2019, which featured a battle pass and cosmetic character skins. Its 24-hour peak hit just over 1.1 million players, which also represents an all-time peak, and you can see that the game's average number of players per month has been steadily rising since October. Superdata questions whether CSGO's newfound success will be sustainable, considering the recent release of Call of Duty Warzone and the impending launch of Riot's Valorant. Warzone isn't really in the same boat genre-wise, so I don't think it'll have a major impact, and Valorant is still several months away, at least so Valve can at least get a little bit of time to enjoy its newfound success. And speaking of Call of Duty Warzone, just after 10 days of it being on market, Call of Duty Warzone has exceeded 30 million unique players, according to a post on Twitter last week. Activision has been updating Warzone's total player count over the first week and a half, and while it started off trending higher than the other 2 big Battle Royale games, Fortnite and Apex Legends, it seems to have flattened slightly. Since nobody provides their updates in the same time frames, we're left with the following imperfect comparisons. So for Fortnite, in 1 day they had 1 million players, in 8 days they had 7 million players, and in 15 days they had 10 million players. Likewise, Apex Legends in 3 days had 10 million players, and in 7 days hit 25 million players. And then finally, to compare it all, again, Warzone hit in 1 day 6 million players, in 3 days 15 million players, and 10 days 30 million players. Now, it seems like Fortnite seems slow in comparison to the other 2, but you could probably argue that's just because the Battle Royale genre was a newer thing back then, even while PUBG existed, and it was still forging its own path, which enabled later games to pull from that pre-existing audience to boost their early numbers. By comparison, Warzone seems initially stronger than Apex Legends, but has likely slowed to a much better match as it paces after 10 days. Now keep in mind though that Warzone has had a pretty large pre-existing install base in the form of regular Call of Duty players, and you could make the argument that it has brought in fewer total new players than Apex Legends or Fortnite did. It will be interesting to see how those numbers keep rising and whether Activision will be generous at giving them out once they level off. And finally, when Legends of Runeterra was first revealed, Riot Games outlined some of their ideas to make progression in the game not only unique, but more player-friendly. The early posts outlined 4 ways players would be able to acquire cards, such as daily quests, rewards based on how players do during the week, and others. Now that the game has been in beta for a bit and Riot has been able to see how some of their ideas have been working out, it's time for some adjustments. Now, these adjustments aren't just designed to limit things. Instead, the developers are hoping to make sure that the system allows for the game's meta to evolve properly while continuing to give players options as to how they go about playing. Among the current changes, keep in mind the game is still in beta, so there's probably still going to be more. There are adjustments to how the vault reward systems are obtained. Level requirements have been lowered for the issue of certain rewards. Level 10 plus now issues a champion wildcard instead of a level 5 random champion card. And after level 13, players will unlock more unlimited capsules containing at least 3 rares and 2 common cards that may be able to be upgraded. Now, Riot has also made changes to allow players to earn unlimited XP, and XP rewards for certain activities being increased as well. Players can now purchase an unlimited number of wildcards without having to worry about the weekly stock rotation. Thank God. Now, for the most part, the announced changes will be instituted on March 31st, with the game's latest patch. XP boost levels will not be available right away. A more detailed rundown of these changes, as well as plenty of information about the direction the developers hope to take the game, can be found on the Legends of Runeterra website. And that moves us to the question of the week. With the news of what seems to be forming as the big 3 Battle Royale games currently on the market when it comes to the player base, let me know in the comment section below which of these 3 do you like the most. And I know some people will comment and say, oh, I hate BR. We don't care that you don't like them, okay? Jokes aside, let me know which one you prefer right now, Fortnite, Apex Legends, or Warzone. And just to give them a break, let's just throw PUBG in there as well. Let me know which one you prefer to play right now in this current crisis we're all living in the comments section below. And that's it for this week's Free to Play Weekly. Don't forget to check out mmobomb.com for giveaways and the latest news. My name is Ethos, and I'll see you guys later. Stay in the house, everyone.